Back with another video for you today, and today I'm talking about a fragrance called Leather Oud, this one right here. And recently my sales associate messaged me and said, you know what, get yourself your backup bottle now, because I just found out that Leather Oud is being discontinued. And she also went on to say that there's a rumor that Fève Délicieuse will be discontinued as well. I guess Dior, LVMH, they're deciding to discontinue some of their fragrances from the Privee collection because now they have this huge collection of Privee fragrances that I don't even like. They're actually some of the weakest fragrances I've smelled from the Privee collection. None of them stood out for me. Well, anyway, I think what they have to do is discontinue some because they have so many in their collection. But we're going to talk about this fragrance, Leather Oud, and also the potential discontinuing of Fève Délicieuse. So if you're curious to hear about it, please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time on this channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, participating in giveaways, and also finding out about discontinued fragrances, and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below, and also please click that bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And yes, that's what my sales associate told me, that this right here has been discontinued. I first purchased a bottle of Leather Oud back in 2013. At that time, I was really into the idea of animalic fragrances, and this is one that I was wearing quite frequently. It's very animalic, but I don't think they're using real civet in here, because it's got a dominant civet note along with very animalic oud, and it does also have a leathery quality. It's probably one of the only designer fragrances. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's probably one of the rare designer fragrances that actually lasts 24 plus hours, because the animalic parts about this fragrance make it so long lasting that after I wash my hands and my arms or wherever it's sprayed on, I can still smell it the next day. It is that strong. It's very potent, but it's also very animalic. You've got to love the animalic fragrances. But when she told me it was being discontinued, I was like, really? I wonder why they're discontinuing the best fragrances. Even though I'm not so into the idea of animalic fragrances now, I was in the past. I was really into the idea. This is a great release from this house, created by Francois Demachy. I think it's about 10 years old, and now it's discontinued, which is actually quite a bummer, because it does have its fans, it does have its following, and at one time I was a huge fan of it. This is the last of my bottle, as you can see. I've stopped really wearing it more frequently, and I pull for it every once in a while. The idea of animalic fragrances were really exciting for me when I was first getting into the fragrance reviewing thing, and I was really finding and seeking out animalic fragrances. I've slowed down now, so I'm not pulling for this much. Maybe it's the same idea. People had the fragrance and they got their taste, and the audience has moved away and have discovered other animalic fragrances, and this one's not getting the purchasing. I guess people are not buying it, or the interest. From what I hear, the sales associates say that this is a very popular one with the Middle Eastern crowd. Whenever they get Middle Easterners come in, wealthy Middle Easterners, they tend to go for fragrances like this. Then there's also Oud Ispahan, which is also the rose and oud. So the Middle Easterners do like the sexy animalic fragrances. I prefer Oud Ispahan over Leather Oud now myself, so maybe that's exactly what's going on and why they're discontinuing these fragrances. But when my sales associate also said they might be discontinuing Fève Délicieuse, I was like, what the heck are they doing? Fève Délicieuse is a very delicious fragrance. Beautiful gourmand with cacao and tonka beans. It's absolutely one of my favorite fragrances from any designer. And it's a bummer if that's the direction they're going. But maybe they're just not best sellers. I'm not sure what really sells in the Dior Privee collection, but there was a time when they had a fragrance called Mitzah. They discontinued it. Although it's very limited availability in the Paris boutique. 2 years ago I brought back a bottle. And there was also the Vetiver, which I really loved from this collection. both of my favorites were gone from their normal rotation, which is kind of the bummer. But maybe they're going to do the same thing with this. They're going to pull it off the shelves, and they're going to make a very, very limited availability. When you go to Paris and you go to the Dior boutique or the department store there, Galeries Lafayette, you'll be able to pick up a bottle, because from what I remember, I think it's still available, Mitzah and Vetiver, at the Paris locations. So I don't know if that's what they're doing with this, and if that's what's going to happen with the Fève Délicieuse. It's a bummer. Now with Fève Délicieuse, I'll definitely want to be getting a backup bottle of it because I really love it. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite designer fragrances. It's absolutely delicious. A gorgeous, gorgeous gourmand fragrance. Leather Oud, I'm fine with not having it. But it's really, really a bummer, because when Dior launched the collection, the brand new collection of Privee fragrances, not a single one of them stood out for me. Not a single one. They have the funkiest names, and they're weak. They smell very floral and basic and generic fragrances, and they're getting rid of the very, very good stuff, and I'm really disappointed. Now there is one, that the Sandalwood one that is just launched, somebody was telling me was really, really good, but our Privee collection boutique at Neiman's doesn't have that one yet. So hopefully, if I'm on my way or when I'm in Paris, I'll be able to sample that one, and if it's good enough to get, I'll get it, because I do like Sandalwood. But I think Dior is doing some bummer stuff with discontinuing some of their good fragrances and adding just mediocre fragrances. Guys, have you sampled the new collection of fragrances from Dior Privee collection? All the new ones that were launched within the last year or so, not one stood out for me. I guess there were some that were okay, but they were not bottle worthy, full bottle worthy purchase fragrances for me. The good ones were the original ones, and of course the ones I mentioned that were discontinued. The Mitzah, the Vetiver. There was also Eau Noire, which I absolutely loved, lavender dominant fragrance. There was Granville, excellent fragrances, gone. But this will be next to go as well, and hopefully they won't get rid of Fève Délicieuse, but the rumor is they might. Anyway, guys, let me know, are you a fan of the Dior Privee collection fragrances? Are you a fan of Leather Oud? Are you a fan of Fève Délicieuse, Mitzah, Granville, Vetiver, Eau Noire? Let me know. Put some comments down so we can get a conversation started. Also, if you are a fan of those fragrances, did you ever own them? Did you ever wear them? Please let me know. Other than that, guys, let me know what you think about the idea of this fragrance being discontinued, and of course the good ones going, like Fève Délicieuse. Put all that down. Let's get a conversation started. Also, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.